Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports YouTube channel. I'm your host, Ryan. On today's clip, what we're going to do is we're going to do an instant reaction to the Lions beating the Packers 34-31. And as a Lions fan, I had to talk about it right away, but I didn't. It was 2 o'clock in the morning when my friends finally left. So I was like, I'll record it in the morning, and it's 10:10 right now. So sorry, guys, I couldn't do like an instant thought process, but I'll still do one right now. And I'm going to do what I did last year, instantly react to the game. Two things I was really that stood out to me positively for the Lions, one negative, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Packers as well. But before I get into it, let me know in the comments below what you thought of the game, what you think of some of the points that I'm bringing out, and yeah, that'd be awesome. And subscribe to the channel and like the video if you like what you listening to. If you don't, sorry, I don't like my voice either. But we're going to go ahead and get into the game recap, the instant reaction to this game. And one of my first big takeaways, and it has to be, and I'm going to put a meme up in this corner, is Dan Campbell. I think he's underrated. I know this is funny to say, but he's a really good head coach. I think he's good at delegating. He's a great leader. He hired the right people on the offense and defensive coordinator position and getting the most out of this roster. These guys come to play, and his attitude just leaks onto the team. It just leaks onto the team. The team knows what to do. They have the same attitude as their head coach, and it shows. Now, I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I did not like them going for 4th and 1 on the 30-yard line because in my mind, it gave them 3 points. It gave the Packers 3 points, and that was early in the second half. And I did not like the last going for it on 4th down either, 4th and 1, that last drive to win the game. And it's because in my mind, and maybe I'm a little conservative, but in my mind, with 41 seconds left, if you kick the field goal, kick the ball off, there's probably 37 seconds left, 37 to 36, 38, somewhere in there, seconds left for the Packers to go, 40, 50 yards downfield with no timeouts. I would have kicked the field goal, but I'm not Dan Campbell, and he has faith in this team. And this team, again, just loves their coach. He is going to risk it. He is going to go all out. He is going to do whatever it takes to win, and that's the type of coach and leader that this team needed. They got it, and you have to take the good with the bad. That is why they were in the NFC Championship game last year. That is why they won last night. And I think that as sports fans and even as Lions fans, and maybe most have, it's just something you got to accept. And I think like he's underrated, which is funny because a lot of people talk about him, but it's just like underrated as far as like he doesn't get talked about with the Sean McVays, the Kyle Shanahans, and those type of coaches. And I'm just like, why? Why haven't we talked about him yet? I think he should start getting some credit. Maybe he will, but he was one of my big takeaways from last night because man, that 4th and 1. I couldn't believe he went for it. I just couldn't believe he went for it. And um, kudos to them and the Lions for winning that game, that 4th and 1, 34-31. The concern, the big takeaway that's my concern from last night's game is just the pass rush. And again, this has been something that if you listen to my podcast or watch my weekly discussions where the Lions came up, it was something that they needed in the offseason to put next to Hutchinson was a pass rusher. Um, it's something that after Aiden Hutchinson went down, in my mind, they needed 2 pass rushers. And they got Zadarius Smith, and he's helped a little bit, but that third, and this is maybe why Dan Campbell went for it on 4th and 1 and with the game on the line, is because he saw in the second half that the Lions defense could no longer get to Jordan Love. The only way that the Lions were getting to Jordan Love most of the time was generating pass rush. And Aaron Glenn did a great job of that. The blitz, the pressures, the schemes that he was drawing up. But it only works for so long. Sometimes you've got to have your four guys up front just get to the quarterback. Jordan Love had too much time to throw the football. And it wasn't just this game, but other games you can kind of see that. So that's my big concern with the Lions right now. I just wish that one of these guys would pop. Eventually, I think maybe one could, but it's unfortunate because the Lions are just in a tough spot, and that brings me to my third takeaway and my like positive takeaway is what's his name there? This team is resilient. This team is resilient. Last night they were resilient. They've been resilient all season. They have 13 players on the IR on the defense. They have 18 total players on IR. That is ridiculous. And yet, in the first half, they kept the Packers to 7 points. And to be fair to that defense, there was 2 touchdowns that they scored, the Packers, that they totaled like 46 yards because of an interception and going forward on 4th and 1 on their own 30-yard line, on the Lions doing that. So the defense they were put in tough spots. They're already in a tough spot, but they found a way. The team has found a way to be resilient. It even like the attitude goes right to the quarterback. Think about Jared Goff. He throws that interception. What did they do the next drive? They went 70 yards downfield for a touchdown, right? It just shows that this team is resilient. And I'll say the first time in my life as a Lions fan, with under 4 minutes to go, I felt like once the Packers scored that field goal, I was like, okay, we got this. We're going to win this game. That's the way I felt. And then they went for it on 4th and 1. I'm like, what are we doing? But anyway, point being, just excellent. Even that last play, Jared Goff gets his foot stepped on, and he still found a way to get a clean handoff for the first down. So overall, this team's resiliency shows time and time again. And this is a team that shows that they have what it takes to get to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they can survive the injuries. That's my big concern right now, but we'll see what happens. Now on the Packers side, I just want to really quick love that they stuck to the run game. Josh Jacobs did not have he had 3 touchdowns, but it wasn't like if you look at the yards and yards per carry, he had 1 rush for 19 yards, but overall he was kind of like he wasn't like bursting big game after big gain after big gain. However, they stuck with the run. I think that helped their offense. Jordan Love did not make that big mistake. That's huge. He had a 92.4 QBR. Now there was a interception that could have happened, but it didn't, and that's fine. That because that happens to every team. But he did not commit that big mistake that usually he does, and maybe he's cleaning things up like he did late last year as well. And then the one thing that if you were a Packer fans, your big concern was your run defense. They did a pretty solid job on Montgomery and Gibbs. Gibbs and Montgomery had sort of like a average game by their standards, which I think is good for the Packers, thinking like if their defense can handle the Detroit run game, they did pretty good against it. Yeah, all things considering. So those were my biggest takeaways from the Lions Packer game. The Lions winning 34-31. Let me know in the comments down below what were your big takeaways. How do you feel about these two meeting in the playoffs? Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.